So it was a building in the song. It was building up, and now the beat changes, and we're getting into now. I'm gonna let you have it, and I'm gonna rip your head off. It very much has that feeling like, oh, poor you. He is mocking him on purpose. Like, poor Drake. Let me tell you about yourself. Now I'm going to rip your fucking head off. All right. So he says, yeah, I'm out the way. Yeah, I'm low key. Okay. Let's talk about that. Yeah, I'm out the way. Yeah, I'm low key. Okay. I feel like he was directly addressing the issue that I had brought up at the beginning of all this was, why are they messing with him in the first place? This man has been low key. He's been out of the way. The island right here is remote. Okay, what is remote? Remote means kind of far away. It means far removed. It means we're off to the side. Okay, yes, that's he's admitting and saying, yes, that's who I am. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Okay, if you notice the light changing in here, it's because I've literally been doing this for a super long time that my light is changing. The sun's getting ready to go down at this point. I ain't thinking about no reaper. Ninja, I'm reaping what I sow. Okay. There's a literal meaning of reaper, right? We think about the grim reaper. We think about death coming. He means that literally, but this is Kendrick we're talking about. um, a reaper can also be a person who harvests crops. Okay, I'm not thinking about a reaper. I'm not thinking about death. I'm not thinking about darkness. I'm not thinking about things that come to destroy. I am reaping what I sow. Think of, we say seeds. We talk about our kids. We refer to children as my seeds. He's also reaping what he has already sown. In other words, he's saying, I'm over here taking personal responsibility. Because we all know that Kendrick Lamar speaks very loudly and very poignantly about who he used to be and his mental health issues and a lot of the things that he's had going on in his life, his depression. And he's been upwards moving towards health, wellness, and being the best person he could be. So he's basically saying, I'm not worried about the darkness. I'm over here doing what I can in the light. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house like I'm Joe, okay? All right. Okay. So I've got a Benjamin and a Jackson. Okay. I think he's talking about money. I've heard other people say Benjamin as in Ben, which was Michael Jackson's song named Ben, who was about Michael Jackson's pet rat. I think that might be a reach. I'm not sure that that's true. I think it's just money. Benjamin Franklin and Andrew Jackson, which is all up in my house like I'm Joe, which would be Michael's father, Joe Jackson. I don't know. And let me know if you think anything else about those lyrics. It says, have you ever walked your enemy down like with a poker face? Question mark. This is also by design. He's bombarding him with a series of questions. Now I'm willing to put all the money I have on it that this song actually made Drake think about these questions. He's sitting over there in his crib going, well, what is walking the enemy down? Like, what is he talking? You know what I'm saying? Made that man think. I know he did, and nobody can tell me any different. Walking your enemy down is a boxing term. So when you could look it up on YouTube if you want to know what that actually physically looks like. I'm not about to demonstrate, but it just means when one of the boxers is approaching their opponent in such a fashion that they're walking them down and they are not concerned with the punches or anything that's coming towards them. They're walking them down, into kind of backing them in. And then he says, like with a poker face. Okay, so in poker, when you have a poker face, you have a straight face that doesn't give anything away. You're not giving away your feelings. You're not giving away what cards you have in your hand. You're not giving the other players any indication of whether or not you're winning or losing. Guess what? Drake is known to be what? Emotional. I think he's kind of saying, can you even have a poker face? And it's getting more intense and more intense. And the questions are becoming like rapid fire. It's three goats left, GOATS, or GOAT, meaning often in sports you hear the GOAT or the greatest of all time. So he's saying it's three greatest of all times left. And then he goes on, and I see two of them kissing and hugging on stage. They were photographed kissing each other and hugging each other on stage. I'm sure it was, cheek kissing. It wasn't kissing. I don't want to talk on no celly, huh? You know I got language barriers, huh? So with this, obviously I don't want to talk on like a cell phone because I got language barriers. Some people have said that this is like a prison reference, but I really don't understand what that actually means. If you do, please let me know. The way I took this is saying, I don't want to talk to nobody on no stuff. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody because I got language barriers about like this issue. Like because me and you aren't speaking the same language. Or I don't want to talk to your people. Or I don't want to talk to anybody that is on your side that's trying to reach out to me because you and everybody are not on the same wavelength as me. And he could have been addressing Cole here. I'm not entirely sure if Cole tried to call him on the cell phone, and maybe at the time Drake was just saying, bruh, you ain't speaking my language either, like, which I can understand because he's like, you're my brother and I still care about you, but like, you need to give me a minute because you were just trying to come at me and then you sort of apologized and retracted it. But that don't mean that I'm ready to talk to you. Because I still feel like we're not speaking the same language. It's no accent you can sell me, huh? Yeah, Cole and Aubrey know that I'm a selfish ninja. Saying Cole, J. Cole, and Aubrey. Okay, I can't get over the fact that Drake's name is Aubrey. Anyway, so he's addressing Drake as Aubrey. Okay, this is also a tactic to minimize Drake. Saying, I'm not even going to address you as your stage name. I'm not even going to address you as your artist name or your rap name, because in just a few bars ago when this song started, I told you you're not even a rap star. He may be saying that in terms of literally. He could say, they know me and I'm selfish. Maybe I'm selfish about this business. I'm selfish about my business. I'm selfish about my life. I'm selfish about what I do or don't tell people. I'm selfish about my family, right? Because think about it, out in the world, if you don't share yourself with people, people are so inclined to like call you selfish or say that you're bougie. You think you're better than everybody. You think you're this and that. People do that. They do that. Families do that to each other. You don't come around. You think you're better than everybody, right? He might be referencing like, me, but you also know that I'm a real one and you can call me selfish if you want to, but you're not about to sell me no accent. I think accent is a way of him saying, you're not going to sell me any of this wordplay. Like, you're not gonna mouth vomit me. You're not gonna call me on the cell phone and say what you need to say to me in any accent that you can find to try to otherwise explain what happened. It ain't gonna happen, and you guys know about me. This is how I take this. Again, if you have a different interpretation, let me know. I don't like you popping shit at Pharrell. Because back in the day, Pharrell did a beat for Cash Money and never got paid. And so we know that Drake was signed by Cash Money and was on Young Money. So we know that. This whole Birdman thing again, right? So he's saying, I'll inherit the beef. So he's saying, keep Pharrell's name out your fucking mouth and I'll inherit the beef. And we know that he feels this way because Pharrell worked on Mr. Morale with him. He says, let me see you Pusha T. In regards to Pusha T, the rapper from the Clips, you better off spinning again on him. Got involved in that beef back in the day with Cash Money and Pharrell, and then got into it a little bit with Wayne, but then ended up getting into it with Drake. They had, back and forth diss tracks, and then I guess Pusha T won at the end when he put out pictures of Drake back in the day wearing blackface. And that oh, and yeah, that kind of killed it. So he's saying, let me see you Pusha T, because you can't, because he kicked your ass. I mean, you can't get out of wearing blackface. You think about pushing me. So he's saying, I mean, he's like, oh, so you think about pushing me? Because he is trying to push on Kendrick. He is. That's what he's doing. He's Terrence Thornton. Okay. Terrence Thornton is Pusha T's government name. I'm Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is a boxer. To get personal, that is another warning. Yet another warning in this song. Did he listen? No. Not about gimmicks. Not about who the greatest. So a gimmick, the definition of a gimmick is a trick or device intended to attract publicity or business. This is not about what you're saying it's about. It's deeper than that. And he says it's always been about love and hate. One or the other. Black or white. No pun intended. Because he's insinuating that Drake has always hated on him. Right? There's no love there. Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. Okay, he's just taking responsibility. All right, I'm just going to let you know straight up, I'm the biggest hater. Hate the way that you walk. He hates the way that he walks. This is where the wordsmithing comes in. This is why they call him Kung Fu Kenny. Okay, because this is where he's starting to chop him down. Why? I despise you. I hate the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. And I hate the way that you sneak diss. We know that there's been a sneak dissing going on. I mean, the proof is out there. There's been so many TikToks, Instagram videos about it. Keep in mind, I am a firm believer that none of this would have ever happened if Drake didn't get all get his panties in a bunch over the verse that he had in that one song. What's the one song? The song is Like That. Took me a second. So the line that he said in Like That, where he claims, or fuck the top three, it's only big me, or something like that. That's what started all this. None of the other rappers on that song that Kendrick mentioned got their panties in a bunch. All of the other rappers understood that Kendrick is doing what every rapper does, claiming that they are the best at what they do and they are the best in the game, and none of them took it as a personal attack. Drake was the only one that took it as a personal attack.